Good morning, everyone. We're back to another daily tirade. I don't do near as many of these as I probably should, because I get so aggravated that even though I may sound like I am going through a tirade when the ones that you view, the ones that I don't make, I'm probably more upset and just don't do them because I would have trouble controlling my vocabulary and other things. This is Monday morning. I believe it's the 22nd, 23rd. I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me. But today the stock market opened up at minus 1,001. Yesterday they lost 500. Everything's going down based on China. And again, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but in 2008 when our market crashed, we were at like 1,100 in the stock market, and up recently we were at 18,000. And they say, well, the economy's doing so great, look how the stock market's doing. Well, we have actually developed a 1% in this country now, because the 1% control the stock market, and the rest of us, people have trouble buying groceries, putting gas in the car, trying to go from day to day. Small businesses are suffering. I mean, they're just, people have quit looking for jobs by the millions. All we get from the government and from the media are lies and about how good things are. If you listen to any of the stock stuff this morning, any of the news going on TV, all the pundits are out there and they're all talking about the stock exchange, and they're all giving all these different reasons, and they're all excuses and they're all lies. Oh, don't worry about it, or well, it's expected to happen, or that's okay. And now they're talking about, since it's going so low, well, now the value buyers are going to come in and they're going to snap up all this stuff, so the loss isn't going to be that great. The bottom line is that as far as this country goes, the stock market used to be a place where people would invest, and they would try and invest for their futures and their retirement. Now the people on Wall Street have learned to manipulate the system, and it's that simple. So they get paid for good trades, they get paid for bad trades, and they may shake their head a little bit until they make more money. The fact that they're not worried about a $1,000-point drop, or that, well, it's just a small correction. And now the value buyers are going to come in and save everything. There's nothing these people are talking about on TV has got anything to do in any way, shape, or form for what is happening to me and you. Because if they lose money, the people that are investors, they're going to raise the prices for us to buy something because they lost something. Just like an insurance company, they make a bad investment and they raise your premiums. We need, at this point, we need someone like Donald Trump, who is speaking the truth, that knows that we're getting screwed, that will say we're getting screwed, and he's got so much damn money that no one can do anything about it, and they can't do anything to him for saying, what the truth is. The other major deal, and it's again tied to the stock market, is gas and oil. Gas is trading at $38 now. It was $35 a little sooner. 3 or 4 months ago, gas was down to $2 a gallon. And this whole country had a small economic boom because people could put gas in their car for 20 bucks and get some gas in their car instead of 40 or 60 bucks. And all of a sudden, people had a few dollars in their pocket. And the people in the Wall Street talk shows, the news shows, were talking about the poor investor and what the investor needed to do, and how bad it was going to hurt the investor. There's millions and millions and hundreds of millions of people out there that are not investors that have to buy gas every day. There's a handful of investors that are getting rich hand over fist. I'm not worried about those guys. Those guys are artificially manipulating the system. And then they say the stock market is based, or the dollar value is what drives the value of gasoline, the cost of gas and oil. And then they say it's not based on supply and demand. And because I follow it every day, you'll see stories almost every day online about there's too much gas out there now. There's too much oil out there now. They want to stop drilling because there's so much gas and there's so much oil. They want to stop fracking. They're saying they're not making enough money. If gas is back at $1, this country recovers to one of the strongest nations that the world has ever seen, because everyone will have money in their pocket. Everyone will be spending that money they have in their pocket because they're not putting it in the gas tank of their automobile. And the people on Wall Street will be crying because they won't be able to screw us anymore. And between Wall Street, the bond market, and the oil companies, they are just bending us over every single day. And again, I'm not the smartest guy, but I understand what I see. And you can't spit in my face and tell me that it's raining. These guys are just, they're doing to us what OPEC did for 40 years. For 40 years, OPEC said, this is what the price of oil will be today. It had nothing to do with supply and demand. OPEC regulated how much oil they were going to produce and how they were going to sell it to us and how much they were going to sell it for. They did it for 40 years. Now, with no regulations and no restrictions, the oil companies and the bond markets have done the same thing. And now our own country is telling us that this is how much oil and gas is today, or the price of oil for a barrel. And they are setting the price. And we have more oil. We're the largest supplier of oil in the world right now. And we will be for the foreseeable future. And we're still paying, you know, in Texas, $230, $240, $250, $260, depending on where you are. My brother visited last week from Tennessee. When he got here, he had paid $3.19 the morning that he got here, and we were paying $3.40, $3.50. And that's in Tennessee. And Texas is full of oil and full of refineries. Valero is the largest refinery owner in the world. If you want somebody that's screwing this country, Valero. You can put them right at their top with Exxon. Largest refinery owner in the country. And most of their gas stations are the highest price in the area whenever they can possibly be. Valero does no favors to anybody except their own pockets. I think they're crooks and they're thieves, just like Exxon are crooks and thieves. And folks, the very simple basis of getting back to when oil companies used to make millions in a year, although it may be 100 million, they used to make millions in a year in profit. Now they make billions in a quarter. And people cry, oh, well, they're not making that much right now. Are you kidding me? It's like listening to the Democrats this morning talk on the news about the stock market, that the economy's good and Obama's brought us back. Are you kidding? The stupidity of this is just incomprehensible. Until you folks will stand up and start screaming at some of the people, you know, that are running this country and what they're allowing to be done to us, that they're allowing the bond markets to do this, they're allowing Wall Street to manipulate these things, and allowing the oil markets, the oil companies, to just sit there and ream us for huge profits when the general American person has trouble feeding their family and going to the grocery store. And the last thing for today, the Iran nuclear deal, and now it's come out that a side deal says that Iran gets to inspect their own facilities and that they we can't inspect their military facilities at all. I think that President Obama is acting as a traitor. I think that he is giving aid and comfort to the enemy. I think he is setting this country up and putting us in danger. And today, Harry Reid came out and said he totally endorses the Iran nuke deal. If I was Mitt Romney and I ran into Harry Reid, I would punch that son of a bitch's lights out and dot both his eyes and give him a reason to wear those glasses. Harry Reid lied. He lied to the entire nation. He was deceptive. He wasn't deceptive. He was a flat-out liar, and he did it because he has protections under the rules of the Senate where he can't be prosecuted or charged for telling a lie because he was in the Senate. Now, you know what? They want to lead us, but they don't want to abide by any of the rules that the rest of us have to abide by. And they want to go after us for taxes, and you got Al Sharpton that owes $8 million and visits the White House 80 some odd times. The rules don't apply. They have completely separated us from them. And we're like sheep at this point that we just sit there and take it. And they say, oh, you can't do that. And they'll come after us, and the IRS will come after us, and the banks will come after us. Everybody will come after us, but if you're at the top of the heap there, and you throw Hillary in there, all you do is just brush it off because it's not going to affect you. It sickens me, the state of our country and the leadership we have, and that our Congress, our do-nothing Congress, the Republican do-nothing Congress, you know, they kept saying, you know, get us in, we'll do this, we'll do that. They got in 10 in the House. Now in 2014 they're in the House and the Senate, and they haven't done a damn thing. All they do is cover their political ass. And they wonder why people like Donald Trump, and they wonder why that we're still upset and we're angry, and they just throw excuses at us, and they throw lies at us. And we have learned, even if you don't say it, we've learned you can't trust them. And the media, the disgraceful, I don't know how these people live with each other. It's like a guy once said on a talk show, people in the media don't know that other people in the media are liberal, just like fish don't know that they're wet. They got no idea they're wet. They're born that way. They live that way. It's nothing new to them. It never crosses their mind that I'm wet or I'm dry today. They don't know. And the media is just like that. They only print what they want you to see. They only print what they want to print. They only print. They don't report anymore. They just read what they're supposed to or say what they're supposed to. Local news on the radio, local news on TV, national news on TV and the radio. It's the same thing. They give their slant and nothing but their slant. And it's hard to avoid Donald Trump at this point because the rest of the country is looking and saying they're finally hearing something that they all think and they all feel, and that no one there that's out there, no one else out there will say. It's sickening. So gas and oil, it ought to be $1. We're still being screwed. The stock market, it went to 18,000. What does that tell anybody? From 1,000 to 18,000, and telling us how great things are, and people have been suffering for the last 7 years, and they can't put gas in their car. And gas is at $35, $38, or oil is $35, $38 a barrel, and gas is still up there at $3.30, $3.40, $3.50, $3.60, depending on where you are in the country. And it ought to be $1. So I realize many people don't see this, if any, but at least I'm getting it off my chest. And show me where I'm wrong. Show me where we're not getting screwed. Show me where the oil companies aren't raping us. Show me where Wall Street isn't basically manipulating the market and the bond markets, and the oil companies aren't just bending us over every single day. You got to do something, folks. We're 300 million people, and we're acting like sheep. The Daily Tirade.